So yeah, we were just saying you're 77.
Yes, but you want me to make an explanation or we can leave it at 77?
Yeah, no.
No, because it's confusing for some people. I claim 77 because you're here on the planet a year before your first birthday. So in reality, I've been on this planet 77 years.
I love that.
And so I claim it because that's all the more that I've had a chance to be a part of this whole cycle. You know, because it's winding down. When you're in your 70s and 80s, it's winding down, and that isn't a horrible thing. That's part of the reality of life. You come knowing, it's the only thing you know for sure, you're going to die.
Okay, but you are not winding down because
no.
We were at your restaurant. You just opened a whole new restaurant and spa on the outskirts of Chicago.
Yes.
So this is such an inspiration I don't like to be like at your age, but do you know what I mean?
At my age, no, seriously, because at 77, I know most of my friends aren't alive anymore. A lot of them aren't alive any longer. And the rest are just golfing and enjoying their life in a different way. I don't say everybody has to be insane like this, but for me, part of staying young is being vital and being relevant to the world. And for me, this is what I need to be relevant, to be helping people in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just reminded me, before we got on, we were talking, I was saying how amazing you look. And you were saying part of it is because you don't hold on to things, you forgive, you let things go, right?
Right.
So this is something that I struggle with in some areas of my life. So how can we let things go and not, as we get older, how can we not let things just rot us away inside?
There's a simple answer and there's a difficult answer. The difficult answer is you do your spiritual work and you work on yourself and you work on your inner peace and what truly brings you happiness and what you're here for. That works. But the easier way is it causes wrinkles.
Yeah, that's the motivation. Because no, it's true. No. We want to look good, right?
So you can use both. But, you know, for me, I read someplace years ago that when you hold a grudge or you're angry, and I've certainly had enough reasons to, folks out there, to do that, it's like taking a poison pill yourself. You're not affecting the person. It's only affecting you. And I just don't choose to let anybody have that kind of power over me. Because that's what it amounts to. They're gaining power over you.
They are. You just don't allow it.
Yeah.
And you just focus on your own life. And you have not had, okay. So Karyn's been on the channel before. I'll link the video down below. It's the #2 video on my whole channel. So you guys are going to want to watch this one till the end because Karyn's amazing. And I think this will be #1. But I know in the last Q&A, people were saying, oh, Karyn, everybody loves you. And everybody was saying amazing things. But I know a couple of people said, Karyn looks good because she's had a lot of plastic surgery.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I'm terrified of plastic surgery. That's part of it. But the other part is my whole, what I feel part of my purpose and mission is to show people there's another way. I don't have a problem with anybody making the choice for fillers or Botox or surgery or whatever. If that's what makes you feel comfortable and good about yourself, go for it. If you've researched and you know what's going on and blah, 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 go for it. But for me, I wanted to be a living example to myself and others of how far we can go without doing it.
I love that.
And like I joke with you, maybe at 95, I'll decide to do a little something, something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm also kind of frightened of just putting things in my body to a degree. It just kind of makes me a little nervous.
Me too. Yeah, because it's not natural.
I'm
but
basically
it's like, do what makes you happy, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where do you think you would be right now had you've been vegan for 50 years, over 50 years,
over
right?
50 years now.
And you've been raw vegan for a long time
40,
too, right?
yeah.
Over 40. So at 77, like how do you feel and where do you think you would be right now if you ate the standard American diet all those years?
Well, I used to joke and say that I'd probably be living on a beach, busted out drunk in Paris somewhere. Living, like Bridget Bardot or one of those older actresses that ended up there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Where would I be? I probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Because all the women in my family died overweight and very young.
Oh, they did?
My mother died at 47. My grandmother died at 50. And my great-grandmother died at 60. So women weren't known for longevity in my family. And I was very sickly. I had the worst skin on the planet. I had every allergy known to man. I was constipated all the time. I was just miserable. And then when I got in my teens, I had a menstrual cycle. I had one good week out of the month. I was miserable and sick the whole time. So where would I be? I would probably be either dead or angry and uncomfortable with life and myself, like a lot of people walk around, or frightened and confused about what life is all about for me. Because when you're so busy taking care of and worried about all of these exterior things that aren't supposed to be there. Your attention gets taken away from being a human being, how you treat other humans. It's all about whining and complaining about what's not working.
True. And you're so positive and you're shining. And instead, like, you're so healthy, creating so much, right? Have you ever had any health problems at all through these years?
Tons of
you have?
them.
Even as a vegan?
Tons of them. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, because people would like to believe that, okay, I started eating good today, now I'm just going to be fine forward. But you're still a product of everything and how you lived beforehand. And so much of it has to do with, yes, putting good stuff in, but stopping the negative stuff too. You've got to, find the balance of more and more and good. So I've had several challenges over the years since I've come to this. And several of them I can relate to stress. Because if I were to give people my whole life story, you'd wonder, I've been through a lot. But I also believe that from the choices I've made, it's made me stronger, because I believe challenges are a part of life. We're always going to have them if you're here, unless you live in La La Land and you're not paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. And we're on a planet of polarity, right? Where it's like good and bad. It's not
so
just like
you're going to have
down
it.
Here.
But we're not supposed to become victims. We're supposed to become victors. And I believe you're given the challenges to raise your victories. And I've had so many victories that I have no complaints.
Wow. That's so beautiful. That's a reel right there. That's just like, boom. Wow. Wow. Well, for somebody who is going through challenges or hard times, like as somebody you've been through a lot and they feel like they want to just like give up and they're having a hard time in life, do you have any advice for them? Or like, what do you do when you face things now?
One of the things that I do is I give myself a grief period. Instead of saying, well, you're not supposed to feel this way, this isn't supposed to happen, blah, 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 blah. I say, you know what? I'm going to grieve for a day. It might have been longer in the beginning, or I'm going to grieve for half an hour, and then you got to do something different. Because we all can make choices in every moment of our lives to be a winner or a victim. And it's purely your choice. And you know what I think about often? We're living in a day and age where there's so much depression and anger and uncomfortability, and we've got more than we've ever had in the history of the planet. People have everything. You don't even have to bend down and put your foot in a shoe. You just slide in right now. Nobody has anything to do anymore. So you have all this time to focus in on the negative. So another thing I do say is find somebody else to help. Even if you're down to nothing, take 10 cents and give it to somebody on the street. If you do something for somebody else and take it away from you and your troubles and what you're going through and blah, 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 do something, bring a smile, make somebody feel good. It's an energy you're pulling into you. You can't help but feel better.
That's beautiful. Reminds me of Conversations with God. Have you read that book?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's so good. And he said that, what you do for others, that totally transmits.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We are symbiotically connected. And this is why the world is round. So we keep running into each other. Because I could be having a horrible day today, but I run into you, then you're going to make me feel better. And just back and forth. And it just keeps going round and round.
And it always changes. Like the bad times don't last, or the bad vibrations or moments, it changes, right?
Yeah. If you allow yourself to grieve, feel bad, go through your whatever whining you're going to do and say, but by Tuesday, I'm not going to do that anymore. And this is the plan.
Yeah. And when you're going through that and you feel like you want to talk to somebody, like, do you vent to friends, or do you think that's just bad energy? And
I don't vent to anybody.
Yeah. Wow. Really?
Well, I don't like to give what I'm going through oxygen. Because you find more ways to play it, So no, I rarely talk about anything going on with me. Rarely, not even necessarily with my husband if something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Because I like to go within and find my way out of it. And I haven't always been able to do that. I don't want people to think I'm born superwoman. This is 77 years.
Yeah, you learn a lot, Wow. And speaking of oxygen, I know you just said oxygen. You have these they're oxygen chambers, right?
Oh, I'm so big on people doing oxygen. That's life. You can live without food, you can live without water, but hold your breath. How long can you live? You can't live without breathing. And the world has been so challenged with our air. When humans were created, the oxygen levels, my understanding, were at 38%. After the Industrial Revolution, they were down to 22%. We're living in the teens in terms of oxygen in our environment. Some places like here in the Midwest, Indiana, they're 9%. They have the worst oxygen on the planet. And all cancer cells, all viruses, no matter what you call the virus, are anaerobic. They can't live in an oxygenated environment. So you're not getting it from the air you breathe, and unless you're raw like me, you're not getting it from your food. So where's the oxygen? So for me, I'm real big on oxygenating my body. And the other side, I have the machines, but you can learn to do breath work too. And I do breath work every morning. You know, I breathe in life and I let it go. And that's a big part of it, paying attention to our breath.
That's what I have to do, especially living in the city.
Especially living in the city.
Yeah, because you lived in the city. So how is it in the country? You left the city of Chicago for the outskirts. You're happy with that?
Oh, God, I love it.
Yeah, amazing.
It's not like I didn't love how I lived in the city.
Yeah.
I lived in like I had a huge duplex apartment with glass staircase and all kinds of stuff, views of everything. But being out here, I realized I felt like I was living in a cage. Because I step right out onto the soil. I actually lie in my backyard and do grounding. You know, I lie and do breath work on the grass, and people go, I mean, you just become a part of everything. And I think that's what's missing for all of us. We aren't feeling connected.
So true.
And the phones are further disconnecting us. I mean, everything around us. So yes, there's a need, but this is what we need to work on, is being human. More so than 2 + 2 and 3 + 3 and how to do this and somebody's other chart for how we should take care of ourselves. Tune into you. And I do believe that that's my intention and focus in my classes, because I'm not, I teach detox and sugar breaks and all kinds of classes, but my vision or intention isn't to make you a vegan or a raw foodist. My intention is to wake up in you what you know to be right. And it's for different people at different times in their life, you know. And so everybody isn't going to wake up and be a raw foodist.
No, most people aren't. Yeah.
And I didn't wake up and become a raw foodist.
No.
I was a vegetarian for a few years, and then I was cooked vegan, and then I became raw. That was a very comfortable journey for me. But what I think that I do, what I'm told, and it works, it's my intention, is waking up in you, because we all intuitively know what's right. Every cell in your body has been programmed with what it needs. And the world has spent so much time taking us away from that and saying, this is all outside of you. And I want to help people to come back inside. I don't want to tell you have 35 grams of protein a day, or do this a day, or do that. I want to give you the experience, and then you need to pick and choose what's working for you.
Yeah, because sometimes it can be confusing.
In this point in
Out
time
there.
in your life. And I get students sometimes that come to me and they go, well, have you heard about this? And are you doing this? And have you heard about that? And are you doing that? And what I like to remind people is I've been doing the exact same thing for 40 years. I've added some other stuff.
Yeah.
But I haven't stopped doing the other.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it can be confusing even in life, like which decision to make. And there's so much stimulation, and really connecting with our higher self and our inner being, and like which path to pick for certain things.
But
like,
you know.
Yeah. How do you think we know? What if we still feel confused?
But you don't if you detox, cleanse your body, and spend time internally with yourself.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you
and
think?
Put your own shoes on and do your own laundry sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Just reconnecting. That's another thing moving out here. When I lived in the city, I had a housekeeper 5 days of the week. Then 4, my husband and I, and then 3.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the only housekeeper I have now.
Yeah. How's that?
But
yeah.
it hasn't been horrible, because it's like I'm even looking at my clothes differently. I'm washing them. I know everybody doesn't want to hear that, but it's just reconnecting with myself in every arena. And I guess that's what maybe I was missing. Maybe that's why things happened the way they did. This is what I needed to reconnect.
Meant
Deeper.
to be. And what do you think is, because I know you mentioned detox, like what do you think is the ideal detox? Like
Mine.
detox. Yeah, exactly. So you have, I can link that down below, right?
Yes, I have a program I've been teaching for over 40 years. I've had very notable people you know take my classes, from doctors and lawyers and priests and people all over the world have taken my classes, and it's stayed the same. I've added some stuff. But it's primarily stayed the same. And people say to me, but what about this? And I go for it, try it. I only guarantee what I teach. Because I'm not teaching from a book, I'm teaching from my life experiences, what I've done.
Absolutely.
So I teach these classes. I have a subscription starting soon where you'll be able to take them continuously year-round if you choose. There's a sugar break, a 10-day sugar break. There's a and when I say sugar break, it gets pretty intense.
Does that mean no fruit probably too, right?
Yes, but you can have vegetable fruits. You know, there's some fruits, like avocado is basically a fruit too, anything that has a seed.
True, yeah.
But I'm staying away from sweet fruits.
Okay.
And it's just giving the body a rest from all sugar, because, I mean, we need about 6 grams a day or a year maybe. I don't know what it is.
Maybe
and people
we eat way more than we think, yeah.
About 100 pounds a year is what people are doing. And people wonder, well, my goodness, why am I always tired? Or why is my skin? Because you're actually decomposing your body with the sugars. It's breaking it down. So I did have, when I started teaching them, a young person from Instagram contacted me and said, how dare you think fruit is bad? We fruitarians and blah, blah, blah. And I said, what I'm saying is it's not bad. We've just used it in the wrong way. And when man was created, we were roaming the planet. You needed that kind of sugar, you know, to fight off the mastodones and whatever.
True.
But sitting behind your computer at home and having Instacart deliver your food, you don't need all that sugar. You're not expending any energy. So then she said to me, she wrote back, she says, well, I know this guy in the jungle and he's 100 yees old and he's still climbing trees to get his food. I said, operative word, he's climbing the tree to do it.
True, exactly. They're out there, like, not sitting in their office eating like 86 bananas, right? Yeah, I get it.
That's the difference. So I just feel that we need to take a break. I feel that I went from being a carnivore to a vegetarian, and I thought, oh my God, this feels great. My skin started to clear up. I started to go to the bathroom. And then I went from being a vegetarian to a vegan, and it was like, this is how we're supposed to feel? And then I went from being a vegan to raw, thought I could think I could walk on water, and then I gave up all sugar for 6 months, lost 10 years on my face.
Wow, no way. You noticed a huge difference like that?
It was, so I still do
like
it.
without the fruit?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just allowed myself tomatoes and red peppers.
So so I know a lot of people think, well, a lot of raw vegans get their bulk of their calories from fruit, which is what I do. I get a lot. So like, how do you eat in a day then? If you're not going to eat much fruit, like what does the day
first
look
of all,
like?
how many calories do you need? Do you know?
I don't count them.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't worry about calories.
I mean, bulk of food, like a lot of the filling food.
Okay, I don't eat much of anything.
So what do you think is an ideal day? If somebody was asking you, they're like, Karyn, I'm 40, I want to go raw vegan. What should I eat in a day? You
should eat whatever is appealing to you in the moment. And if you just feel like eating cauliflower for a day, go for it, because your body is filling in the holes. I eat so little food, you'd wonder how I sustain myself.
Really?
But the reality is this is the size of your stomach. It's a tiny little sac in here. It isn't this area to be filled up 3-4 times a day. So when you eat the energy and food, and I drink most of my stuff, like I do coconut water every day. I do a neem and turmeric drink every day. I do because we actually live off of the gases. We don't live off of chunks of food, which is why you're supposed to chew your food until it's a liquid. And it's the liquids, the gases from the liquids that are actually feeding you. So if you're getting energy efficient food to feed everything, you're not hungry. And if you're not hungry, you shouldn't eat. You shouldn't eat because you should have this amount of calories in a day or get this much protein in a day. You're supposed to eat because the cells are calling for fuel. And if they're not calling for fuel, don't eat.
And there's a huge connection, right, between our stomach and our brain and our mood. So do you think there's a huge difference in how we'll feel if we're like overly full?
All you have to do is go on the sugar break and you'll see how much nicer you are. How much more tolerance you have.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it.
So with my break, I also give you certain herbs and vitamins to start balancing your blood sugar levels too. So we're taking my systemic enzymes with MSM. We're taking we're doing different things that are balancing, and we're doing certain algae and stuff so that you're not craving the sugar. Because sugar it's as addictive as heroin.
No. I know. I interviewed Brian Clement. Do you know him from the Socrates Institute? And he said that too. He's like, when you have heroin, a certain part of your brain lights up. When you have cocaine, a certain part. And then he said, when you have fruit, your whole brain lights up. But then I don't know. Maybe that's not a bad thing because we need some fruit, right? Our body maybe likes it. You need some.
And the thing of it is, like right now, I'm going through figs.
I love figs. I've been eating. I have some green figs. Yeah.
I'm into figs right now, but I haven't even had a fig. What have I had today? I've had wheatgrass, coconut water, some turmeric tea with neem in it. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm not hungry yet.
So you wait till you're hungry.
Oh, and I have water first thing in the morning. Water is my first meal. And I do structured water.
Yeah.
So I have structured water in the morning, and then I'll have wheatgrass and some coconut water. But I don't just get up and have structured water and have wheatgrass and coconut water. I wait until I feel a little hunger. Then I have it.
Yeah, that's important, I think. And do you feel like there's any foods that are like key for you, like thriving as you get older? And you're young. I'm not being like you're old.
No, you're right.
No, you're not.
Well, I
mean, like, I don't like to use the term older. I don't know but you know, as
I've been
we
on
get
the planet
older,
77 years.
Like foods that you think are like key. For
algae, any kind of
algae.
Yes. Yeah. I have chlorella. I have my own brand. I chew those all day.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
if I get hungry, I'll choose some chlorella protein, calcium. It wakes me up, balances my blood sugar levels. We do that in the sugar break too.
So you think these things are like from the sea are important for us for a vegan diet?
It's my B12. It's my B vitamins. It's the first food on the planet for humans, algae. So,
Good point. Yeah, good point.
and I will also say, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
When I was in India,
You can just hold it too if you need
Okay.
to. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
I was in India, and I went with 99 people from around the world. I went with my spiritual teacher, 𝒕𝒫𝒊𝒈.
Oh, for what? This is so cool.
It was for the 𝒕𝒫𝒊𝒈, father. It was a whole spiritual thing. We did a pilgrimage. But out of 99 people, I was the only person that never got sick. And they came from all over the world, doctors and lawyers. And I was eating from the little nasty stands. They were nasty then, and I wasn't eating all raw. You know, the Sikhs were cooking for us up in the mountains, up in the Himalayas, and I was never sick one day. I was eating about 25 of the chlorella to 50 a day.
Wow.
I was doing another green, and I never got sick. And I did my enzymes, and I never got sick.
Yeah. Amazing.
One day.
Wow. Amazing. And what do you think the differences are? Like, I know for me, eating raw, it's changed my life. It saved my life.
Well, it's supposed to.
But what do you think are the differences between eating raw food and eating cooked food?
Well, first of all, the body needs enzymes for every metabolic purpose in the body. When the enzymes are gone, that's when you die. Every time you eat cooked food, your body has to use its store of enzymes to break that food down. So you're basically using up your life force at the table if you're eating the wrong way. When God, spirit, universe, wherever your belief system is, everything is in perfection. If you eat watermelon, you eat the white, the green, you're getting everything in balance. When you eat it raw, you're getting oxygen, you're getting enzymes, you're getting everything those cells need to regenerate. Otherwise, they start dying off, and that's how you start getting old, and you start getting wrinkles in your liver and your kidneys, and everything starts to fall apart. So my face is like it's like my barometer too, to know. Like stress, I can eat a whole case of mangoes. My little, what do they call them? The
no
11s.
way.
That's your spleen pancreas.
And that's from eating?
Yeah, sugar and carbs.
Interesting.
Yeah, comes out. So when
I have some of those. Maybe I need to take it down on the fruit.
you need to do my next detox. And
Yeah,
you'll see your whole
maybe I
face will
will.
change.
Wow,
That's
amazing.
you literally. It's like a veil is lifted from your face.
It's crazy how much what we put in affects everything, right? The
But
external.
it's everything because everything is connected.
And it's not even just how we look though. Like we want to feel our best, right? That's why I eat this way. Not at all for like looks, just because it makes me feel my absolute
But I
best.
throw in the looks because the looks are
Well, yeah, they're a
telling
big
you.
part.
No, but they're telling you what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
They're telling you if your skin
True.
is vibrant, you're vibrant internally. If you're grayish green and sagging and pimples, that's what's going on inside.
Yeah. And do you ever eat cooked food or like you notice a difference how you feel if you
Oh,
eat
it's
it?
amazing. Over the years, every time I open up a restaurant, I end up eating. That wasn't the first
yeah.
raw. I would start eating some of the cooked.
I just have to stop for a second because we're in Karyn's restaurant, which I told you guys at the beginning, I think, but it smells, she has cooked food here too.
Tons of it to bring you in.
Smells so good, you guys. So yeah, sorry, carry on.
But we'll get you some food. We got raw for you though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have raw lasagna.
What did you ask me?
The
So
difference.
what's amazing is how addictive it is. That's what people don't understand because the body's always trying to reach this acid alkaline balance. And so the more acidic you get, acid, the more you want. You just crave more and more. And the more alkaline you get, you don't want it anymore because your body's trying to find its own balance. So what I notice when I have the cooked food is right away, I either have to say, okay, you're not going to have any more. Time to jump back on. Do a
Yeah.
little mini something because they are addictive. And Victor explained it to me, my teacher, 𝒔𝒂𝒗𝒆. He explained that the body trying to reach this acid alkaline balance, when you do something like a cooked food or a cigarette or alcohol or something that are acidic, they're kind of alkaline. I'm not alkaline, they're alkaloids. And so they fool you into making you feel balanced and comfortable and full. But then they get inside and they go, aha, but I'm really acid.
Yeah.
And so you want more to get that feeling again, and this is how you become addicted.
Okay.
So you have to make a clear distinction if you are going to do something and give yourself intention. And because you're human, you're not going to be perfect. I remember when I first started all of this, cute story. My daughter's 53 now. But when they were little and I was going to Optimal Health Institute, I used to go twice a year. Before I would go to the store up north and buy a case of taffy apples. And I'd have them hidden under my bed because I wouldn't let them have any.
That's hilarious.
But they walk in my room and they say, Mom, what's that smell? Nothing. You know, but I'd be having my taffy apples before I went off to Optimal Health Institute to cleanse. But I think part of that was too, is until you're really settled and comfortable, there's almost a fear of being that much in control of yourself.
Wow.
So you do things to sabotage, because then you have no excuses if you're in control.
I've never thought about it like that before. It's so true. Wow. That really puts
then
things
it's
into
everybody
perspective.
else's fault and everything else. It's not mine.
Yeah.
So you kind of hold yourself back. I find, especially people that have weight loss problems, they get to a certain point and then they can't lose anymore, because that's their mask or their armor that they've built around themselves. And there's other things to deal with. And that's what we talked about a little before. Food is a small part of all of this. It's a part of it, but it's keeping all the balls up. That's
true. And if somebody, a lot of people ask on my channel, how do I start a raw vegan diet? So if somebody were to ask you, like, Karyn, what's your advice for starting? If I want to get started, like, where to start?
Well, there's so many ways. It depends on the person, of course. But I generally recommend that I'd like to see you plant-based vegan first before you go raw, so that it isn't such a cutoff to your body and it's going, what are you doing? What are you doing? And making it more uncomfortable. People do it and it can work. But most of, like, even when you do my 28-day detox, unless you're already raw, you become vegan before you go raw. And then I think it's so to find that, I think it's very important to find places around you, to research it a little bit and find places around you where you can get your food, because so much of what we do is habit and convenience. So you have to look for it. And that's all part of my classes. I have little sheets that you fill out to find, to make it convenient for you, because we're living in such a world of convenience. Of course, one of the chapters in my next book is we're dying for convenience, literally.
See, and I gotta say too, I love that you're planning your next book. Yes. Like, at 77, guys, isn't that so inspiring? I always talk about this, but it's something I really notice with people who truly prioritize their health and living their best life, like opening restaurants, writing books, planning all these things. So do you ever plan to retire?
I don't know retirement is a new word in the English language. So my grandfather worked till he was 99. The men did live longer. I don't understand the word. What am I retiring from? Maybe a particular job, but I don't care for the word.
And it's always been important to you because you've always focused on what you love, though, right? It's different if people are in careers and jobs that they don't like. Obviously, you're like, I can't wait till I can retire.
And that's what I would love for. You find, and even if you do decide to retire, then now it's time to do what you feel your goal or love or mission is in life.
And you've always followed that path, right?
Always.
Amazing. Always.
Always.
Never done jobs you didn't like.
Well, I've had 2 over the years, but they didn't last long.
No, I couldn't.
I was a bit spoiled.
Yeah.
But I've always done something. I've never not worked.
Okay.
Since I'm 12, I've always worked.
Amazing. Any advice for people who want to take that leap and follow their passion, or any business advice? Because you've accomplished so much. Well,
the business advice is you've got to do what you love. You've got to find something that you love. And then you have to find something that's going to benefit mankind. I think that's a big way to do it too. And that could be anything, even benefiting. That's what we're here for.
Those are the 2 keys, like doing what you love and it adds value and it helps people.
And finding ways of being of service too.
And okay, what does a day in your life look like right now?
Well, I'm up every morning at 5:30.
Wow.
And I do a spiritual practice that what I went to India for called 𝒔𝒂𝒗𝒆. It's a fire ceremony. It's when the sun comes up, it's believed that there's a curtain pulled back between heaven and earth and all this good energy falls, and there's a mantra, and so I burn cow poop in the house.
Really?
Yeah, every morning. I always make food. I'm making food for myself for the week. Even if I don't eat much, I bring it to my team members and stuff. But
like raw food and stuff?
I make all kinds of food. I made my husband the most incredible cooked peppers the other day. I just love being in a kitchen. I love washing dishes. I love everything about being in a kitchen. So I probably spend about 3 to 4 hours a day in the kitchen. Just if you see, like I make all kinds of stuff. Like I'm busy. I'm busy.
You are busy. I love it.
So I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and I prepare food for the week and whatever, and for people, for myself. I'm not selling it, And then I come to work, and But what I've started doing is I work from home for 3 hours before I come to work, because when I come to the restaurant, I'm socializing all day.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm just and answering questions. Everybody has a million questions for me. So I don't get a lot of work done. So I work from home, and then I come to the restaurant and the spa. I'm planning my classes. I speak and lecture all over. I'm speaking at a church this weekend. I just work. I'm speaking with you today. Whatever comes my way, I don't know how to say no.
I love it. Amazing. And I personally been going through a bit of a hard time, and I opened up to you about that. And so I was wondering, you 40 years married, do you have any tips?
Well, there's been some very tough times.
Yeah.
And I think that part of what people need to understand and remember is that it just doesn't go from A to Z with that either, with relationships. It's work.
It's work.
And there's chapters when it works easier or not. But one of the things that I plan on doing retreats on, there'll be raw foods there too, but I feel like part of my new mission is to help women, like you sells what to eat, is to help women remember the female side of us, being
femininity.
Women. That goddess energy that we've kind of put aside to be strong and to get it done and be like the guys. But meanwhile, there's all yang energy out there, and the female energy is so depressed and suppressed. So I just want women to reclaim that divine goddess energy. I mean, without us, there's no world.
It's true.
I mean, we have all the power.
It's the baby.
We have all the power.
Yeah.
We don't have to be like a man to do it.
No, and we don't want to be. I don't want to be like.
But a lot of women they feel that to be successful in the world.
And sometimes you're forced to. Like I've been like if I didn't work, I wouldn't eat. Like it's like.
Well, it's not working. I'm just saying how we respond in the job. Of course, we have to work.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and you can stay at home with your kids, I would do that too.
Yeah.
Because the kids need our energy and us, not for me. But yes, we have to work, but we can bring the femininity to the work and make it strong.
Yeah, and I've been watching a lot of videos about that topic lately, so it's funny you said that on YouTube. And it's a lot of the videos say like we attract opposite. So if we're really feminine, if we want like a manly man, a man like we'll attract that, right? Or if we're being like really masculine, we might attract a more feminine man. So I thought that was interesting.
Very interesting. Well, I've always gone for the caveman types myself.
Yeah, I think that I like a manly man too. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but
And you guys are on different lifestyles. So your husband's not a raw vegan. And I like that.
No,
I love that. Yeah.
No. He's not. He smokes cigarettes. You've heard me say that. Because people, how could you be married to somebody that smokes? Well, he doesn't eat red meat. Okay.
But you're married to him, not how he chooses to eat.
Exactly.
Right?
And I dated quite a few guys that didn't smoke that were jerks. And so I think it's all relationships. I just hope people just give up so quickly too.
True.
On both sides. And I think you need to look for commonality and then look for where you're comfortable not being common-like. I mean, because we're so different, but I respect that difference in him and he respects my difference. Do I want to be like him and do it? No. And does he want to be in love like me? No.
And you guys have made it work, no problem, having different lifestyles? Like it never bothers you or anything?
No.
Good.
In fact, he's very protective of me. He always was in the beginning. It's like, she can't eat this, she can't eat that.
Good.
So like I said, he doesn't want to do it necessarily. Although I give him a thing of vitamins like this every day, because he's not going to. But
Good.
I think it's looking for what is working and not always looking for what's not working.
That's the key. Yeah, that's good. That's
and
it.
I'll say he's made mistakes, but when I weigh that against all the stuff that isn't a mistake, it's one incident doesn't define the whole relationship.
Yeah, I can see why you are on Oprah. You're just like aha moment after aha moment. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, okay, I just took all that in. That was really good. Well, any other secrets you think anti-aging, youthful, like us living our best lives?
I have to say, I think what's kept me closest to everything is that I detox and cleanse 4 times a year, regardless. People come in here and they go, well, I did detox, or I did that 3 years ago. I did your class 5 years ago, and I did. Well, if you stopped eating and living, you never need to do it again. Or if you're living in the rainforest, you don't need to detox. But if you're in a city or anywhere out here where you don't have control of your environment, and you can buy organic, but it's right next to a pig farm. The wind didn't stop there.
Yeah.
There's so many areas that we just the world is in a very hostile place for humans at this point in time. That part of it. So I detox and cleanse 4 times a year without fail.
Different types of cleanses, is the same one every time?
Two are the same and 2 others are different, or out.
Yeah.
But I don't, and that includes doing colon work and the whole shebang. And that way I feel I'm keeping balance. I think that's probably the most important thing that I do. I don't, well, I'm raw, I'm vegan, I don't need to do that. People, I do. I'm breathing this air. I'm next to somebody that, so I detox and I've done that for about 45, 50 years.
At like certain times or just whenever?
I use the seasons.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. Yeah. Amazing.
I do it seasonally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been amazing sitting down with you. You're just such a gem. You're such an icon. And you've also had all these successful restaurants. You've done so much in your life. You have this new restaurant out here. You guys have to come check it out. It's such a vibe. It's got so much heart and soul, and it's so amazing. I can't wait to have some of the raw food. And yeah, it's just you're so inspiring.
Thank you.
Even
You
more
are.
in person.
No, you are too.
Thank
I
you.
love your people. And people come in. I saw you on Jillian's channel.
Oh, good.
Yes, we're getting a lot of feedback from you too.
No, amazing.
And I love seeing these young female warriors.
Yeah.
Female warriors out here passing the word.
Yeah, amazing. And has there been anybody that's really inspired you? Like anybody that stands out?
𝒔𝒂𝒗𝒆, Ann Wigmore. Probably those are the 2. Dr. Gabriel Cousins was an early influencer of mine.
Yeah.
And he influenced me a lot initially. And there's lots of people that I've taken in information, but one of the points that I like to remind people is we all download the same thing if you take the time to listen. So much of what I do is downloading my own information, and I'm not special. You can. It's where you put your intention, where you need your miracles, what you want to happen. You put your attention there and you download the information. Because for me, spending a lot of time outside of myself, polling people and asking people, it's confusing and it depletes.
It is, absolutely. Wow. Well, you're awesome. Again, thank you so much for coming on. We always love having you on here. It's such an honor to see you in person. And
can I say my last statement?
Yeah.
You know, I always finish with, if you don't take care of your body, the most magnificent machine you'll ever get, where you're going to live. Thank you.
It's so true. Thank you. Thank you so much. And everybody go follow Karyn, her Instagram, her YouTube. I'll link it down below. Get her courses, get everything she has. I'll put it all below, your website. And yeah, what's upcoming with you? You have
we're doing a 28-day detox that's coming up in October.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys got to do that. And just Karyn's amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this one. And I will put on the screen right now Karyn's last interview. It was absolutely amazing. Go check it out as well. And I love you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.